It's a Conspiracy is a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB. For a list of other fun programming, please check out albertapodcastnetwork.com, where you can find shows like Modern Manhood.
Welcome back, everyone, to It's Conspiracy. This is the podcast where we lay out the beliefs behind select conspiracy theories, alternative accounts, legends, myths, and more. I'm your host, Andrew, and I do not claim to be an expert on anything we're going to discuss today, and it will probably be wrong about everything as usual, because I am slowly getting angrier at the rising temperature and humidity. I'm an inherently hot, sweaty guy, and the warm months just don't appeal to me. I belong in a dark, cold, barren cave under the ground in Scandinavia somewhere. So I don't know how you guys feel about that, but just heating up, no thanks.
Hey man, as long as you got Wi-Fi in there.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'm a
chubby guy, man. If it gets hot, I even think about moving. Instantly, there's a drop of sweat.
I'm just cool all the time.
Oh,
yeah, no, I'm not the sweaty one.
I sweat enough for all four of us.
Appreciate it.
It's terrible. Yeah, and so I'm taking one for the team. Yeah.
Bueno.
If you'd like to see where we dug up whatever fiery snap seeds we're going to discuss today, then please check out the resources in the episode descriptions. Charlie plucks those rhubarb leaves one by one from the shrubbery from whence they came, and yes, in air, he has lost a finger to the craft. Bless your tender rhubarb heart, Charlie. Yeah. Lastly, we are a proud member of the Alberta Podcast Network, powered by ATB.
Yay, ATB!
Yeah.
You can check us out online at our website, itsconspiracypodcast.com, our Twitter, @isiitaconspiracy, that's run by the Irish Madman, our Facebook group, the Instagram, It's a Conspiracy Podcast, that's run by Greg, our email, and our Patreon page, patreon.com/
It's a conspiracy.
Okay. Joining the online distance communication time today is Charming Charlie, Gorgeous Greg, and Smilin' Dan Shessel. Yay. Smiling. We were talking about this before we started recording. Shessel, that has a lot of S's in it. Like, that's all of the S's.
It's all of them. I took them all up from my last name. That's it.
No more S's for you.
Yeah.
These heartbreakers will interject as they see fit, and I do appreciate their digital distance company. It's the end of the season, laddies. Who knew the strange turns we'd take when we started this journey of season 2? Here we are, recording remotely. What a journey of love and smiles.
The things we've seen.
Yeah. Right then, Charlie, with a yes or no, can you tell me if you've heard of any of these theories?
Yes or no?
Number 1, what were the theories we discussed in season 2?
Yes.
Number 2, what were the Mandella minutes we discussed in season 2?
Yes.
Okay. Number 3, what were the Monster of the Week seasons we discussed in season 2?
Oh, hell yes.
Oh, yeah.
Number 4, how many of the beers we had in season 2?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, now number 5, which one of these does Dan think is the best, bearing in mind his decision is final and we have to live with that decision, even if it's wrong, but that's fine and it's okay and we're all right with it?
That one I don't know.
See, no, it's going to be right. That's the thing.
Is this going to be one of those things where like you get our pretend consent and be like, oh yeah, they totally did this again, you know?
Oh, I have a recording of that consent, and
I bet you
I
do.
will not hear anything.
Recording of that consent.
Insert recording here.
No, but whatever Dan decides is final. So what we're gonna do is we've got our season 2 wrap up. We're gonna present Dan with everything, and he's gonna say, this one's the best, this one's the best, this one's the best. And we'll say, okay, Dan, you're right, sorry. And
that out for us.
All right.
Yeah. Now, for subject number 1, what were the theories we discussed in season 2?
What were they?
I'm just going to list these really, really quick. We'll adjust for comments. Go ahead and make some notes, whatever we need to do. We're going to let our judge pontificate on what his top 3 theories are. So you get 3 in this one. Okay.
Was peanut butter better than jelly?
Just Dan. We don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, you guys don't have... I mean, if you want to make a little note,
okay.
But if there's one that sticks out to you, but yep. And just go ahead, Dan, and we're going to wait until the very end for you to announce your winners. You're like, hot dog, the wiener is... And that's when we'll put that part in there. So I'll present the first, then we'll move on to the next subject. Okay, already, season 2, I wrote in that hot dog joke. I'm very... We started off with a look at the Dyatlov Pass and is... chocolate milk, just brown curdled milk. The boys drank curdled milk for that episode, and bless your hearts for that.
Lemony chunky milk.
Yeah.
As we called it.
Disgusting. Then time traveler John Titor and the Montreal Screwjob.
Yeah.
After that, we had the Nephilim Sumo, and then we had our 3-part look at MK Ultra. So part 1 was called Part 1. Part 2 was called Electric Boogaloo. That joke is going to get old pretty quick. Part 3, the Flat Earth Battalion and the Men Who Stare at Goats. Then we discussed the great Dungeons and Dragons panic of the 80s live at the sadly now defunct Board Game Cafe right here in Edmonton.
Oh, all right.
I'm sure you've heard of the great Dungeons and Dragons panic in the 80s.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're going to dress up in armor and go out and
I was
murder
so
somebody.
because I grew up in a Christian home. I was not allowed to play Dungeons and Dragons. It was forbidden in my house.
Forbidden.
And I would try to go out and, I would talk to all my friends about what they were playing and how their campaigns were going, but I was never allowed to play in any campaign or really go out and play a game with my friends.
Thou shalt not.
Oh, wow.
It's intense. But that was part of it, right? Because there was this book that came out and it's like going to lure your kids down into the sewers. They're going to be murdering people. And
They're casting spells on you and everything. The whole, it was crazy.
They're worshiping devils and trying to kill dragons that don't exist. Come on.
Yeah. Our next one was Walt Disney cryogenically frozen and the teleporting skier who definitely created a crazy story to cover up the time he hooked up with a stripper. So that was the other theory.
I am so glad you're bringing this one up again because that one.
Oh, yeah.
Good time.
Sorry, that's an opinion. But okay, after that, we looked into the Sorrowverse to dissect who is George Soros. And we also questioned, is Boba Fett actually a good bounty hunter? I don't know if you listened to that episode, Dan, but there's a lot of evidence that points to him sort of being like a Inspector Gadget, like, oh, got you, whoa, my gun, and his backpack accidentally goes off and he falls into the monster's mouth.
Allegedly.
Clumsy guy. He's lucky. Yeah.
I did hear he's going to be making an appearance on The Mandalorian.
I have a little.
Season.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Boys.
I have a little theory about that, and can you make a little note to bring that up in opinion time? Because I do. I got thinking about this the other day, and I was like,
it's not The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian is not Boba Fett.
Mandalorian is not Boba Fett, but I was watching the prequel trilogy the other day, and I was like, and a thought occurred in my empty head, which doesn't happen very often. But let's come back to that later on. After that, we did our Star Wars special. That was our Star Wars Cinemaspiracy. We talked about Darth Jar Jar, the bigger Luke theory, which infuriated Jason Kutcher. Do Ewoks eat people? And yes, they showed stormtrooper helmets, and the Ewoks tried to eat everybody when they first met. They're like, into the net, and we're going to eat you all. Never mind, we're friends. And the third part was, was Indiana Jones the fever dream of Han Solo while encased in carbonite? And that's a pretty cool one. That was the last Cinemaspiracy we did. We were going to do a James Bond one, and then the apocalypse happened. So
well, that's right.
Maybe in 2028.
Don't worry, James Bond will return.
We'll have to bond about something else. After that, to show we're hip and with it, we looked at 3 theories from 2019. Did Epstein kill himself? He certainly didn't. Is Greta Thunberg? Is Greta a time traveler from 1898? And the Edmonton Pillar of Light, signifying that Lord Cthulhu had assembled the Squadron Time Force for the Reckoning. But after that, we looked at genetically modified organisms and the Israeli super shark assassination squad. After that, we looked at the mystery box of New Brunswick. And then we did Barry Soetoro and the surprise trip to Mars, a.k.a. Barry Soetoro was actually Barack Obama. And was William Shakespeare real? Yeah. Then we did Are Some Numbers Cursed? And Fluoride Mind Control. Then in April, for our April Fool's Day, we did the Doom Song of Montreal.
We're in the city of broken promises and wine. In the city of broken promises and wine.
which no, wasn't a real thing, and we're all fine. Right after that, we did another topical episode, Does 5G Cause COVID-19? And was Iraq invaded initially because Saddam Hussein had unearthed a working Stargate SG-1? Then we did our music special, Why Does Johnny Cash Wear Black? And was Michael Jackson actually a castrato? Then we did our cars special, and the theories were, are autonomous cars trying to kill us all? And is Terminator 2 happening and we're all driving AI death machines? Or is Terminator 4 happening and the robots are friendly maybe? Then we did, are germs real and is Mark Zuckerberg a robot? Then Charlie and I took a look at Antifa. And we talked about a hipster who traveled back in time to take some pictures, only to be caught in a picture himself.
Billy on the street.
Ew.
Billy on the street. He looks just like Billy on the street. Yeah. And that was all of season 2, wrapped up in a nice, tidy little bow.
Boy,
Wow.
the things we saw.
I'm sorry. What was number 1?
Yeah, he's got it. And
What was number 1 again, Andrew?
so yeah.
Can we go back there?
Goodness. So in that there, we were thinking we just pick out 3 of those that you're like, that one's neat, this one's neat, and that one's neat too. Yeah. Now, subject number 2, what were the Mandela minutes we discussed in season 2?
I stand here before you not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people.
So I believe it was in episode 1 of the season that we did Jaws from James Bond fall in love with the character name as Dolly because A, she had a beautiful smile, or because B, she had a brace face. And I would love to hear your guys' opinion on this one. Actually, on all of them, really.
Bearing in mind our...
Well, I remember Andrew's answer was like, you remember her having a brace face.
100% she
Oh,
had
I didn't
braces.
remember her at all.
You didn't remember her at all.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
from,
Dan, have you ever
yes.
watched a lot of James Bond enough?
Yes, and I'm pretty sure she had like messed up teeth at least.
Yep.
She did not. She had a very beautiful smile.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, no, that one. It was a shocker when you revealed that one to me because I had to actually go and take a look on the internet. Going, oh, that's
We
not
all
right.
had to, man. Like my dad even had to go take a look, so I think
No,
we're
that's-
good.
Because that was the point of the whole thing. Jaws,
Yeah.
they were like
Yeah.
bonding over teeth.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no
Like
other
their
reason for
ugly
them to
smile
have,
was
like,
the
an
thing that
attraction to
brought
each
them
other at that
together.
point, obviously. Another one is how do you spell Oscar Mayer from Oscar Mayer Wieners? Andrew, you want to go give a crack at us at the song or what?
The Oscar Mayer Wiener song.
This is not a hostified wiener, and I like a whole lot of wieners. Yep.
No, I don't think that's how it is. So is Oscar Mayer spelled Oscar obviously being the Oscar Mayer or Meyer?
Yeah.
I'm not sure because I'm pretty sure it had like MEY.
Hey, you got to sing the song.
Yeah, it's,
My wiener has a first name.
Yeah.
I don't think that's actually how it goes, but is that?
MEY. It's got to be MEY.
It's the correct spelling is Mayer.
AY.
This the next one we did was not a Mandela minute, but because I didn't have one prepared, we actually talked about a UFO that was actually hovering above the Pentagon during the time that it was closed during the year of 2018. I couldn't find specific dates. And that it was beaming down radio signals while the Pentagon was closed. And during that time, they contacted the Canadian government, and the Canadian government helped decode what those messages were, and they are as of not released to the public.
But be advised, it was all K-Rock.
So, okay, it could have been, man.
What does it mean?
Morning show.
There was footage of that, man. It was wild.
Yeah, no, and there was multiple you find any information as to why they were closed in 2018? It's because of the UFO. It's not because of Trump or anything. Anyway, number 4, does Uncle Moneybags have a monocle or not? Monopoly guy.
The Monopoly guy does not have a monocle.
Ooh.
I know my Monopoly man.
The Monopoly
I feel
guy
like he
says-
should have a monocle, but he does not have a monocle.
He does have a monocle,
And Charlie,
just like I do.
I think I remember no.
you did remember no, he does not have a monocle,
Are you trying
And
to get
excuse
me in line
given is
that
a
way?
lot of people just remember Mr. Peanut before he was murdered so viciously by his company not so many months ago.
Mr. Peanut.
They should call it monocolopoly because that's
Wow. Number 5, is it Jif peanut butter or is it Jiffy peanut butter?
It's Jiff.
Ooh. Andrew?
now I remember having a very strong opinion about this at the time. I think I said Jiffy, but
Charles?
Choosy moms choose Jif.
It is Jif
Yes.
peanut butter, and
Jif.
Charles was in the alternate universe. I just brought it up because I did not grow up eating Jif peanut butter, and Andrew,
I was
you
a
did
craft.
say Jiffy.
I was a craft.
yeah,
I was a craft guy with the peanut on
Yeah.
top.
That's the one.
Totally.
You know,
Yeah.
Peanut bonus.
For me, it was just the like I said, I'll bring it up again. The Wayne Gretzky commercials where he was just shoots, he scores. It's like top shelf next to the Jiffy. Just bad
Yeah.
commentary on that one in my.
But that pops into my head every time. Now I remember
well-
that's okay. I just had the same watching Wayne Gretzky. Just
Yeah, because there was commercials where they were like
Jiffy.
they
And
were
that's
competing
why.
for like a Big Mac and like they
Yeah.
were just doing the most ridiculous shots. Yeah. Number 6, what color is Chartreuse?
Chartreuse.
Dan, you wanna?
oh man, it's Chartreuse. See, I always think it's a red, isn't it, or like a burgundy?
Andrew, what color is Chartreuse?
I don't remember what I said about this at the time, but I think I remember it being red as well. But I think it was actually, or do I remember it being green?
No. Charles?
I remember I said red, but it's green.
Chartreuse is actually a liqueur, and the color of it is green, and that is what the color
Right.
is based off of.
That's what it was.
A lot of people remember Chartreuse being more of like a maroon, purplish color,
Yeah.
and that
Yes.
is unfortunately,
Yeah,
not the
like
case.
a maroony.
Yeah, unfortunately, just not the case. It is a green, like it's a yellowish green.
That's not even close.
Yeah, it's a deep violet, is what it is, not green.
Go buy some Chartreuse and let me know.
See, I don't drink enough.
Don't drink
Well,
Chartreuse.
Dad, you got to get on that,
buy
man.
it by itself. Just find something. to
Are you
make
the
it.
only guy in the apocalypse? It's like I better drink a little less.
No.
'Cause I think everybody
No,
else
no,
is.
no, I went the other way on that one. I drink way more now than I ever did.
Going on to number 7, what are the correct lyrics to "Won't You Be My Neighbor," the song written by Fred Rogers, which happens to
go.
be the theme song for Mr. Rogers' Show. Anybody want to just jump ahead and take a guess?
I do.
Oh man.
Isn't it like, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood?
Yep.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be my neighbor?
Oh, no.
No,
But we all said the same thing.
A lot of people said the same
day
thing,
in
and
the
it's
neighborhood.
just it's been sung wrong like since the beginning because nobody sung it like Fred Rogers.
Won't you be?
A lot of people remember "It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. It's a wonderful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be my neighbor?"
that's not it.
That is not it. It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. A beautiful day for a neighbor. Would
Yes.
you be mine? Could you be mine? And I'll follow up with the second line, which helps clarify it a little bit more. It's a neighborly day in the beauty wood. A neighborly day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Would you be mine? So
Where did that one come from?
yeah,
That sounds like something from Winnie the Pooh.
Did
Doesn't
he
sound like
sing that?
he
sang
sung it every single episode. I watched a few and like it didn't cry every time, but you know how it gets.
But the funny thing is, man, that movie that came out with Tom Hanks, they sang it wrong in that. So.
They did. They definitely did. So yeah, it's who knows?
Maybe they couldn't get the rights to the proper.
Maybe there was an episode where he did sing it differently, and nobody's caught on to it. That sounds like an opinion, and I take that back.
Yeah.
Number 8, did the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz carry around a revolver with him during the whole film? The lion, a butterfly net, and the Tin Man, a giant wren. So this was
revolver.
Andrew's Mandella minute from an episode where we switched. So me and Charlie also did 2 conspiracy theories. Mine was actually the Saddam Hussein and the Stargate one. I that wasn't the entire theory, but it was the Scarecrow carrying around a gun with him the entire time, or a weapon. I believe was how you. brought it up
I mean,
to us.
do you remember the Scarecrow holding a gun in Wizard of Oz?
I don't remember anything about that movie.
Right?
Would you say like you've seen it at some point since?
No,
like,
I would never say that he had a gun. I have to admit, I had just recently listened to this specific episode, and the whole entire time I'm like, what the hell? And I'm telling my wife the exact same thing. I'm like, did you know the Scarecrow had a gun? Like, no, he didn't. I'm like pulling
does,
up pictures.
man.
I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah.
Who gives a scarecrow a gun?
Thank you. It's completely out of character. He's literally the last person who should have a gun. Yeah, anyone else should have a gun. If anyone's gonna have a gun, he shouldn't have a gun. Yeah,
He's got no brain.
Yep.
So that was the conclusion we all came to, Dan, at the end of that episode. But that being said, I remember him only having a gun at the point when they went to go face the wicked witch of wherever she was from.
So he stopped at the gun store later on and got it, but the point was he had a gun.
I don't remember.
And that point, no, and I remember that.
A gun, period, in that whole movie.
But during the episode, Andrew, you were insistent that he had it the whole time, and it was only because
when did he stop to get it?
they were.
It was in his pants.
I know.
Anyway, we have so little time and so much more that can go over. I'm going to go over number 9, and that was just the last one that we did, and it was scientists have discovered subparticles that have acted in a way that give evidence to a parallel universe that is running in reverse to ours.
Oh yeah, backwards man. Backwards man.
Yeah, mostly known as neutrinos, and there are. It's almost like you have your atom and then your quark and everything. There's like neutrinos and then subneutrino and whatever. I don't know their names. I am not a scientist, but it's a wonderful thing.
What were their names, Charlie? The neutrinos?
They're from Dimension X.
Yeah, they have that like 50s car they drive around in.
That 50s car, hot rod.
Shredder.
But anyway,
Reference Greg did not get it all.
no,
Yeah.
not at all. Sorry.
Well, if I may, Chancellor Shessel will pick his favorite Mandela minute after agonizingly poring over the case presented by MC Parshower.
This episode of It's a Conspiracy is brought to you by Unity Co-working. Unity is a multi-company co-working space focused on helping people pursue their passions and making Edmonton its creative best. Once normal working conditions resume, you're invited to join a tight-knit group of freelancers, startups, and established organizations, all dedicated to getting things done. Unity Co-working is located in the historic McKinney building on 104th Street, close to everything downtown. For more information, visit unitb.ca.
All right, that's going to take us to subject number 3. Boomstick! Charlie, Chuck, Charles, C-Bomb, C-Dog, C-Money. Just like the theories before, we'll present these for the Grand Poobah Dan the Man, and he will make a decision on the best monster of the week. Okay, Charlie, what were your monsters?
Well, I really hope you're putting a lot of, like Night Court and Judge Judy style music behind all of this, because that's what I feel like it asks for. It's a Conspiracy Monsters of the Week segment. All right. There've been about a dirty dozen of these bad boys, girls, and creatures. Let's start with, we go all the way back to episode 206. We kicked it all off with Jake the Half Alligator Man, half alligator, all Jake. The next episode, we had Mike the Headless Chicken. He lost his head and he kept on kicking, and he won some awards. Then we brought it on down to the Hanukkah special where we had the golem. I don't have any funny. The big rock golem. Episode 209, we had Indrid Cold, the grinning man of 1960s folklore. The smiling, happy face man. Next, we go to 210, where we talked about Hogzilla. Biggest pigs this size of somewhere. Episode 212, we discovered Homominus dentata. Homominus dentata, which is the tooth fairy and all of its evil, wicked ways. 214, we met the deer man. Half deer, half man. Which half was half, though? You don't know. Sometimes it changed. Sometimes he showed up. Sometimes he didn't.
Could have met a man, could have been a deer. You never know.
Man could have been a deer.
And he was a young British child, if I remember correctly. A wee lot from Sussex.
The one who saw all the things. Then we had the Plague special, which I talked about plague doctors and their brilliance. Bringing us down to Spring-Heeled Jack, the killer who could be a human or could be a creature. We're not sure. Maybe he did jump tall buildings in a single bound. Maybe he didn't. Maybe
we do know he is the cousin of Leadfoot Tony, though.
Leadfoot Tony, hey. Maybe he's just a failed theater kid, you know?
Couldn't jump at all.
Really know. Brought us over to the cars, the special about cars, where we talked about Samson the Strong Man, the man who ate an entire car. Delicious.
Amazing.
Chomping at the bit to hear how that one ended. Pop on over to the Watchmen special, where we talk about the biggest monster in the Watchmen graphic novel version, of course, the Squid Monster. Giant Squidsy comes in at the end and wrecks some shop. That's a spoiler if you haven't read it, but if you haven't read it, what are you, me from like 3 months ago? Come on, get on it. Go check it out. Finally, we've got Mighty Mouse rides the SpaceX rockets. Do mice catch rides frequently on SpaceX rockets? And that's it. That wraps up 2020's Conspiracy Monster of the Week segment.
Boom.
No.
That's sweet, man. Right, that's going to take us to subject number 4. What were the beers we drank and had and enjoyed in season 2? Emperor Darth Dan, or Darth Shessel, perhaps, will pick his
Lord of
3 favorite beers from the season, and it's possible that he hasn't tried all or any of these. Okay, we did a lot of craft beer stuff, so if you've tried some, cool, but some of them just have neat names. Some of them have banging cans. Some of them just taste
tried
real good.
a good chunk of them, and I know that.
Oh, okay, right on. There's one on here that I'll be like, oh, did you try this one? Because you had to be at a certain festival that Charlie put on. That we'll get into that in a second. Okay, I'm just going to list these up real quick. So number 1, we started off with Puppers Premium from Stack
Puppers.
Brewing.
Hell yeah, Puppers.
And then number 2, Happy Little Brute from the Russell Brewing Company. Number 3, Forbidden Fruit IPA from Yellowhead Brewery. Charlie, do you want to talk about that one real quick?
That was the special, that was the special beer for my festival, Blue Review, our fun little porno fest that we throw up here.
You throw up.
We throw.
Okay, sorry. Number 4, we had Highway 16 Lager from Yellowhead Brewery. Yellowhead Brewery are awesome. They're right here in Edmonton. It's amazing. Number 5, In Another Castle from Analog Brewing. Have you tried any Analog Brewing products, Dan?
I have tried pretty much all Analog Brewing products.
Awesome. Like, aren't those cans
Bomber,
incredible?
man.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love High Bomber. I can't have too many High Bombers.
No, that's like one and done.
That was
Yeah.
one, and then I'm good with the High Bomber. But
But it's so good.
I love their Power Porter. That is my favorite.
Yeah, Power Porter is killer. Hive Bomber was our runner-up in season 1, and I think the condition was that you can drink a Hive Bomber and a Blue Buck was like 1 for 1. They're pretty good. But you could drink 10 Blue Bucks and they're just better after another. But Hive Bomber's like, you don't want to drink 10 of them. You'd be like, oh, I can't move.
$10.
Not my legs. Number 6, we had the Kettle Sour. Number 12 from Blind Man Brewing. Number 7, our chicken surprise. That was Simple Pleasures from Cabin Brewing Company. We, for some reason, put episode 7 twice, so I'm going to call this 7B. 5 of Diamonds Pilsner, again, from Blind Man Brewing. On our Star Wars Cinemaspiracy, we had the Shortwave Pale Ale from Phillips Brewing.
Phillips.
Which was just mwah. Number 9, Analog 78 Kolsch from Phillips Brewing. And in our pickle special, I just wanted to throw this out just because we like James Jarvis so much. We had our iceberg. So going down like the Titanic, the iceberg, real tasty. Like the biggest ice cubes I've ever seen. Charlie, where did you get those?
From my freezer. I just had to chip them out from the
Monsters.
back.
They look like moose teeth. Just
Whoa.
Yeah.
Moose teeth. What size do you think moose are? These are way
don't
bigger
know.
than moose teeth.
They're real big blocks of. Valentine's Day 2, Electric Boogaloo. We had Scandal Ale from Pacific Western Brewing. Episode 11 we had Fat Tire from New Belgian Brewing.
Ooh, Fat Tire. I like that.
Yeah, number 12. This is a hilarious name, Dingleberry from Bourne, Colorado Brewing. And then on St. Paddy's Day 2, Electric Boogaloo, we had a little bit of Guinness, a little bit of Kilkenny, and a bit of Smithwick's. And then we had our gold special, and we had a light Pilsner from Goat Locker Brewing Company. And I don't even know if we referenced this on the episode or not, but the reason I picked the light Pilsner is because it's a gold color, which didn't really come through on the audio medium. That's a gold color. Number 14, Industrial Park IPA from Wild Rose Brewery. Greg is a big fan of IPAs.
Yeah, wonderful. I love the IPA.
Loves them. Can't get it.
Our quarantine special we had the Pale Session Ale by Goat Locker Brewing. And then our Plague Special was the Vanilla Porter from Nine Locks Brewing. Number 15, episode 15, that was the Irish Red Ale from Sea Change Brewing right here in Beaumont. Number 16, BS Wit from Bent Stick Brewing. And then Mother's Day 2, Electric Boogaloo, we had the Haymaker from Bent Stick. Yay for beer.
Yay for beer.
Yeah.
Yay.
I've had most of the bent stick ones.
Yeah,
Yes,
Dan.
I've had a good chunk of those.
Yeah.
Various beers. Yeah, the Highway 16. I think it was one. A lot of the ones from Edmonton area.
Yep.
So many good breweries in Edmonton.
We'll have to do
Edmonton. Well, Alberta. I'm gonna go with
In
Alberta.
Alberta.
In general, but
yeah.
And Charlie had
a never-ending
bent stick, guys.
Charlie, they got like 60 flats of beer right before this whole thing. Yeah. The timing of that. Like who
lucky,
had a
man.
dump truck full of beer
just lucky.
right before the pandemic?
Just lucky, I guess. Yeah.
Just lucky.
Yeah, just like
And it only lasted a week.
I dropped my lottery ticket on the sidewalk, so I walked away with flats of beer. Yeah.
well, that's going to take us to ad number 2.
Electric Boogaloo. This episode is brought to you by Taproot Edmonton, your source for curiosity-driven coverage of our city, cultivated by the community.
Taproot has launched a service to answer your questions about Edmonton's response to the COVID-19 pandemic and our experience of it. The idea is to help you understand this complex and quickly evolving topic with succinct, well-sourced answers to any questions you might have. Find the COVID-19 microsite at taprootedmonton.ca. That's taprootedmonton.ca.
Powerful.
And subject number 5. Which one of these does Dan think is the best? Bearing in mind his decision is final and we have to live with that decision even if it's wrong, but that's fine and it's okay. But it's probably right and that's fine, but it's okay.
It's like it's probably wrong, but it's probably right.
This year we thought we would try a slight variation on our awards. So basically what happened was in the first season, Greg actually suggested the title The Conspeez. And then recently, in a fit of rage, decided for us, he was like, no more Conspeez. We got to come up with something else. And I'm like, okay, let's do this. And we've become fans. I think this is another thing Greg introduced us to was Justin, is it Roiland or Rolland? So Greg introduced me anyways, I'm not sure about Charlie, to the classic television program, The House of Cosby.
Oh,
so
yeah, okay,
we're going to still call these the Conspeez, but they're going to be named after characters from the House of Cosby. Okay, if that's confusing, don't worry about it. It's fine. Honorable Dan. Yeah,
I'm so excited for this.
we'll keep this confusing as well, just to keep that confusing theme. Let's go backwards. So number 1, can you tell us your 3 favorite beers?
My 3 favorite beers.
Right.
So we're going back from the okay. Well, I'm a little disappointed that you guys didn't have enough porter in your stouts in your selection here.
A
I
porter
will
and a stout man.
Well, yes. So I'll put the vanilla porter just by default,
Okay.
just right off the hop. And then I was thinking, man, I really need to make sure that Gregory has his IPA.
Oh, I know.
All right, lay it on, big boy.
But I wasn't sure which one to pick because you guys had so many.
I know. That's my problem.
Which Greg loved. Yeah, he never complained about it at all. Yeah.
Yeah, not once.
I do have forbidden fruit written down.
Well, that's the IPA I want to go with. Lay it down.
Yeah, forbidden fruit. I don't know if it was an IPA, but it was. The funny thing about that was the alcohol content was 6.9%.
6.9.
That is so funny.
The beer for the Porn Fest was 69.
I really do enjoy In Another Castle.
Hell yeah.
Oh,
So, I mean, that's just going to go on. And then I got to pick one more, I guess.
well, so are we going the vanilla porter?
Vanilla Porter in
right?
Another Castle.
Okay.
Let's go Forbidden Fruit.
Hey.
Sponsor for Charlie's
I
Festival.
mean, why not?
Was there a beer that you guys felt deserved an honorable mention that wasn't In Another Castle, vanilla porter, or the forbidden fruit?
I think the one that we had on the chicken special.
Simple Pleasures. That
Oh,
was the
man.
one I was going to call out as well.
Dope. That one was
Yeah. Good call, Charles.
One of the ones that I really enjoyed, just for the bizarreness of it, was the Pale Session Ale by Goat Locker Brewing.
Oh, you know what? I really enjoyed that Goat Locker packaging.
The writing on the can was the most insane thing ever. Like, it was just this rambling of like
Oh, it was great.
Kind of like a meth addict, but like in like the Renaissance era, just like yeah, wonderful, so good, and it was so funny.
Some of the greatest things about some of the craft beers out here is that the ramblings on some of the cans is just so good.
Yeah,
hilarious.
Shout out to Puppers on the alliteration.
Puppers,
oh man,
right.
the Puppers alliteration.
The drink.
It was like a paragraph.
The reading on the side on that one was
yeah,
muy bueno.
Super funny. All right, cool. Okay, so the moral support Conspeez goes to Vanilla Porter, In Another Castle, and Forbidden Fruit IPA.
Yeah.
Now, Dan, what was your favorite? And we're just going to pick one for these ones. What was your favorite monster of the week?
Favorite monster of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
and you guys, Baron, go ahead and grab an honorable mention if you want.
I do want to make sure. I want to make like you guys have one here. Hang on, 2 seconds. Where did I lost it? The Nephilim Sumo.
Oh baby.
Which I believe should have been in the other category.
He should have been a monster of the week.
He should have been the monster of the week.
You know, I get what you're saying.
That was pre-monster of the week.
That was pre-monster of the week, and I believe he should have just been moved over to the monster of the week.
Grandfathered in.
Grandfathered in. Because I believe he's a great monster.
Oh my God, he's a great monster,
isn't he?
That's a good. Let's give that one kind of an honorable mention. We'll say that it would have won if it had been included, but if we didn't include that one, so out of the ones that we did include, what would be your favorite?
All right, 207 with the headless chicken. Because I mean, come on, who doesn't like just a headless chicken?
It's amazing.
Just made gurgling sounds.
Yeah.
I mean,
how was it?
I mean, I've actually done the whole chopping of heads off chickens and stuff like that, and watching them running around for quite a while. But to actually have one to live past that phase,
and quite some time as well,
and win awards and enter, and be
yes.
part.
Yeah. Got fed by a fucking dropper.
Yeah. What was his name? Not Jake. What was the chicken's name?
Miles.
Mike.
Mike.
Chicken.
The guy woke up and heard Mike choking.
Yeah.
That wasn't
choking on a kernel of corn.
And to have an actual conspircy of his death attached to the whole
Perfect. I love
it.
Funny. They forgot the dropper.
For those who didn't hear the air quotations, that was fucking funny.
So, for an honorable mention, my favorite, the monster of the week, I would have to give it, just because I'm a geek. I got to give it to the squid personally. That one was just the movie left it out, and the squid is amazing, and it was fun talking about that. Yeah. Did you guys have an honorable mention for the monster of the week,
Charlie?
Oh man, I loves them all. I mean, Jake the alligator man, he's the one who inspired me to be all like, we got to have this as a segment.
Absolutely.
He was the one half man, half alligator. He's got regular birthday parties. They still have that. You can still do Jake the alligator man birthday party. Well, I don't know about since the super virus, but I mean, up until. But I mean, also, Samson the strong man.
So good.
He ate a car. Just no problem. Ate a car.
Who eats a car? It's a weird thing to do.
Samson the strong man does.
Yeah, man.
So as much as I'd like to agree with Dan, I love the headless chicken, but yeah, Samson the Strongman was my honorable mention. Thanks for stealing that, Charlie.
Sorry.
I'm all good. The fact that man ate the outer body of a car made in the 1950s, that thing weighed 500 pounds. That's not even a joke. That man is a monster. I don't even know what to say more than that.
Yeah.
The monster
footage of him
of the week,
footage of him eating the pieces
of the week,
crazy.
Of the year. Give it to him.
Of the century. All right. Then anyway, so our the country music Conspeez goes to Mike the Headless Chicken. Yay. All right, Greg, this is going to take us to our favorite Mandella Minute. Mandella Minute.
The number one for this one is got to be the Scarecrow wielding a gun. I mean,
bang, bang.
I don't remember a gun at all.
Yeah, man.
I mean, there's great choices, and there's Jiffy and the monocle for the Monopoly Man, but I don't remember a gun.
You don't remember the Scarecrow pulling a gun out of his hip
Yes.
like RoboCop, just like
It does not fit.
For me, the way it was presented, in my opinion, it was presented in the way that like he had it the entire film. But it's just one scene where he's flimsily holding around a gun,
losing
and
my
it's really
mind.
called a
Dorothy.
revolver.
Where did he get it though? He had it with him is the point. He
But they were
did have
told
it.
that you have to go attack the Wicked Witch of whatever, and obviously they sent them with something. Come on, man.
Even if he stopped at the Crystal City gun store and got a gun and some
Crystal City
or Emerald City, whatever it is, and got
I just
Yeah,
want
like I don't remember the movie that well, but I do remember that Dorothy just kind of randomly found these characters as she was walking
Yeah.
along the path.
Very much so, yeah.
Why would he have a gun?
He didn't. He
It's
If he was
crazy, man.
just trying
Until
to
that
scare
scene.
off some crows.
It's insanity that he had a gun. Yeah.
Okay,
so
come on.
Dorothy had Toto. The lion, as Greg pointed out, is a weapon. He is a weapon himself.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the axe man had an axe, not a wrench, but he has a wrench in the end,
Wrench
which is
and an axe.
yeah, and an axe. And so like
Wasn't there a hammer at some point too?
Scarecrow's weapon was his heart, like his like power to love. You know, he was like the
Kill you with
Like
kindness.
the Care Bear of.
yeah, he was the Care Bear of the team. Totally, he was the jungle guy from like the Planeteers. Like there was
Yes.
that one guy that was like my heart.
You guys are
Yeah.
taking this too lighthearted. You know what scares off crows?
Guns.
A gun. You know what scares the shit out of crows? Sends them packing. They're out of there.
So Greg, was there a Mandela minute that you liked in particular that you thought was like a runner up?
It's so hard to find like a good Mandela minute to talk about because a lot of them are like very like stringy, and by stringy I mean like thin. You can't really prove it. I really like the neutrino one. I know there's like not a lot of proof behind it, and scientists are just like, you know, there's no way to prove this, but the fact that you can see particles that small doing something that they're not supposed to do, or doing something you've never seen them do before, and like that could mean anything to us, I think is super cool. A weird world that we just have no idea that's going on beside us, and it just happens because we're just not paying attention.
Man, I got to go with the one that sparked me the most. In terms of the ones that we talked about was the Chartreuse, because I was like, I haven't watched Death Proof in a while. I'd forgotten.
Oh.
I'm not a big fan of the movie. Like I'm like, and we talked about that a little bit, but the like the car chase part is incredible. But it is odd that everyone I've talked to about that does remember Chartreuse as being purple, and it is actually a French word for the color green, and that's bizarre. And it was named after the lick, and that's a line in the movie. He's like,
it.
It's great.
The liquor's so good they named a color after it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Chuck, what do you think there?
Well, you know, originally I would have said Chartreuse as well, but you already picked that one. Also, shout out to the ZZ Top song Chartreuse. It's excellent if you haven't heard it yet.
Yeah.
ZZ
No,
Top Charlie.
right.
We are in Canada, so I just
Dynamite. But
Anyway.
so what I'll go for instead is the UFO hovering over the Pentagon, sending out K-Billy super swinging sounds of the 70s all day long, you know, whether you like it or not.
When you said K-rock earlier, I thought you meant like Korea rock, like K-pop. I thought you meant like Korea rock, not like the Edmonton rock
Talking about
station K-rock.
Carry on,
that's
my
hilarious.
little son, man.
Oh, it's
funny,
like
man.
it's K-pop.
Like K-pop. I thought K-rock was like a new version for K-pop.
It's like
I'm like
K-pop,
K-rock.
but
That's
it's
cool.
heavier, you know?
All right, so the Curiosity Conspeez goes to was the Scarecrow packing heat. Kapow, kapow, kapow.
Curiosity.
Curiosity Conspeez. Okay, Dan. So for your three favorite theories,
best of the best
and
of
we'll
the
just
best.
go.
All right. So for
Yes.
Unreal! Every time I turn off my phone.
It happened. Oh, bueno. Muy bueno.
It's that troubling wife of mine. Text. Oh, that's hilarious.
I hope she doesn't hear this podcast.
Oh, she probably doesn't listen. That's all right.
she'll never know.
Trust me,
You'll never know.
trust me, Andrew, our wives don't listen to our podcast.
Yeah, no.
No, I'll tell you, mine never did.
So yeah, so Dan, what were your three favorite theories in that?
So for my three favorite theories, Greta Thunberg being a time traveler, and she is a time traveler. And no, I've seen the pictures. There's not a chance that she's not a time traveler.
He's all
Yeah,
in.
man. It's like Watchmen. Faces like that don't come along
No.
that often.
No.
Was she hanging out with Keanu Reeves too, or?
She was like in a field, like churning butter or something like that. Like she was, or like wearing clogs.
It's like super scary how close they are. Like it's like it's like a match. And Israeli super shark
Super Sharks.
assassination squad, because I mean,
Thank
how
you.
awesome is a super
Yeah.
to deter? I mean, if you're gonna hit a country, hit their tourism, right?
With sharks.
With sharks,
With frickin' sharks.
yeah, with laser beams on their head.
He was attached to their freaking.
Is that too much to ask?
And then Saddam Hussein, who unveiled or unearthed a working SG-1.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Thank you for that. That took me
mean,
like a whole of like
Greg-
20 minutes to dig up some bullshit on. Like holy man.
When he presented that theory out there, I'm like, what?
It's a Fargate.
It's a fog.
It's a fuck-
And it's a real thing, man. Like people believe that.
If you cannot believe that there's you guys had another theory of someone time or traveling to Mars or whatever. It was the same.
Barry
sort of,
Soetoro. Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
Barry
Who was actually
Soetoro.
Barack Obama.
Yes. That one was very close. And if the Saddam Hussein didn't come around with his story, that would have taken it. But yeah,
Sorry, Charlie. What was your? Did you have three,
Honorable mention?
or do you have an
I don't have
eight
three.
honorable mention?
I've got an honorable
Sure.
mention.
An
Which would have
honorable?
been the Great Dungeon and Dragons Panic.
Oh, that was fun, wasn't it?
yeah.
Yeah, sure was.
That's a great
Sure
one.
was. I guess for a second one, I would say I sure enjoyed putting together the MK Ultra stuff. That was really fun to research, and I got to. I mean, I watched it because I was interested in it anyways. But the movie, The Men Who Stare at Goats, like it's a good movie, and like George Clooney just kills me with some of the scenes in that. Like he he doesn't get enough credit as an actor. That's such a strange story, and he sells that movie. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I know it sounds bizarre, but it is a great movie with a really weird sort
MK
of,
Ultra is so big.
Yeah.
Like, that was
It is.
such
It's
a
super big.
such a huge huge thing.
but it's all, and it's got a Canadian connection, but it's also been proven after decades of being denied. They're like, okay, yes, we experimented
We did
with
that,
MK
yeah.
Ultra, like
Yeah.
we did this. Sorry, just leave us alone about it.
Give it up already. Come
Sorry,
on.
your uncle jumped out the window. We're sorry. We said sorry. Isn't that enough?
that one reminds me of the ones with the prison experiments.
Yeah,
I can't. Do you guys know which one I'm
yeah.
talking about?
totally.
Oh,
Yeah.
where they put like a bunch of college students in charge and then made some of them prisoners and put them in there as well.
Yes.
It's a weird experiment. It's been glorified in movies, but I think they only did it for a very short time, and it absolutely got really strange, and like weird
Yeah.
relationships got kicked out the window, and yeah. People, there's a movie called Das Experiment,
Love
and I
that
think
movie.
it's a good movie.
It was a good
but it sets it in Germany, and I'm not trying to be whatever, but just a bunch of like middle-aged German men playing those roles made it, just added kind of a subtext that's like, oh, this is so scary. So yeah. And Greg, was there an honorable mention?
Well, Dan kind of put the Nephilim sumo underneath the monster of the week, and I kind of disagree. Like, I'm glad you're here as our guest judge and everything. But loving ancient aliens and such and forth, the Nephilim were angels and stuff. So like I feel this kind of belongs more in the conspiracy part of it, because I do believe it talks about more of like there were angels that were in Japan at the time, and this was a fucking old 1,000-year-old being and whatnot. So yeah, I get it, he might be a monster, but I think there's a little bit more deeper story to it. So I would say that one for me definitely stood out.
It is a good one, yeah, and you're right. It had the Old Testament connection.
Yeah.
And it had like that interesting kind of the Nephilim. I don't know if they were angels or if they were what.
So
they were,
Nephilim were basically the beings that were left on Earth after angels had decided they wanted to marry the women of men. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, like in like the King James Version Bible, there isn't a lot of that talk. If you go to the Torah and the Talmud and the other things, there's a lot of talk of those types of, like, not creatures, but like more like beings and stuff. It's a lot more like I don't want to say mythological because I don't want to insult anybody, but it's a lot more spiritual and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm saying they weren't a monster of the week. They're just because that word Nephilim brings so much meaning behind it that you're like, I think I need a little more research on that one.
Yeah, fair enough. But kind of both, though, because it isn't. I mean,
very much so. Yeah, it's not like you're going to see a giant sumo destroying people like that every day of the week.
Oh,
so.
When we're done the podcast, we'll show Dan. Dan, you need to see this trailer. It is the Arts Appreciation Conspeez goes to Greta Thunberg. Is she a time traveler? And yes, she is. The Mood Swing Conspeez goes to. The second one you mentioned, wow, what?
It's not easy, is it, Andrew?
No, it isn't.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Israeli Super Shark.
All right, so the Israeli Super Shark Assassination Squad. And the Entertainment Conspeez goes to Saddam Hussein's secret Stargate SG-1 with Richard Dean Anderson, and the TV show is better than the movie.
You see?
I hope we can all agree on that.
It's a Fargate.
Yeah. So really quick, before we wrap things up here, just a quick shout out to the friends who have been generous enough to share their time and talent with us for the Opinion Time jingle. So thank you to Ruben Anderson and Angela Steves, Richard Inman, Shane Lawrence, Steve Skapansky, I hope I'm saying that right, Fat Dave Johnson, Olivia Rose, Dempsey Bolton, Brent Hanna, Mike Dominy, Janelle Vanderhelm, Quinn Clark, Lindsay Walker, and Jade Cope. Thank you so much, friends. That you guys all did such great jobs, and we really, really appreciate that. If you'd like to send us a version of the Opinion Time jingle, then just please go ahead. You don't need to ask us about it. Just go ahead and fire it off to us. You can send it to us on one of our social media platforms or directly to our email, which is in the episode description and at our website, itsaconspiracypodcast.com.
I'd love to hear a dubstep version. Send us a dubstep version.
That'd be phenomenal. Well, roll me up a powerful wizard with high luck and dexterity. Wasn't that a boatload of smiles? Yes, sir, it was.
Yes, it was.
We really do appreciate you stopping by for a listen, and please feel free to rate, review, subscribe, tell a friend, tell your neighbor, tell your foes. Spread the good word like Nutella on a banana. That is excellent. Put it in a hot dog. That's a tasty treat. Hot dog bun, I should say. You can check out all of our past casts and social media stuffs at itsconspiracypodcast.com. This is the end of Season 2, Electric Boogaloo, but we will be back with a bunch of specials over the summer, and then Season 3 kicks off on September 1st. Thank you, Dan, for joining us and being our kind but fair, stern, strict judge and Lord Emperor and Chancellor and Grand Poobah.
Thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
Appreciate you inviting me. This is great.
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for showing up, and thank you so much for listening. I hope everything's going okay at home. I know things are crazy, but we're almost at the end of this thing, and let's just stay home, stay safe, be careful, and let's get out of this thing okay.
Love you guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
I totally forgot that we had mentioned earlier The Mandalorian, and we talked about the possible return of Inspector Gadget, aka Boba Fett. So what's happening is that the actor, so a lot of rumors been going around where Boba Fett's coming back to The Mandalorian, it's going to be just Fettalicious. Now what's happening is that I don't know how to say his name, but Temuera, I think is how you pronounce his name. So the actor Temuera Morrison, who voiced the Jango Fett and became the voice of Boba Fett through the original trilogy in Retrograde. So he, the actor who played Boba Fett, is coming to The Mandalorian. So people are like, oh, it's Boba Fett, he's coming to The Mandalorian. But that doesn't mean that he's Boba Fett. That could mean that he's one of
The many clones.
the many clones.
Sorry, do you mean Jango Fett?
No, because Jango Fett was killed, so it's not
Jango
going to be
Fett.
Jango Fett.
No, it's way after the Jango Fett thing.
But Boba Fett is a clone
But
of Jango
yes.
Fett.
Boba Fett is a clone of Jango Fett, but so were millions of other people.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. I just wanted to
So-
clarify that like
yeah.
we weren't mistaking.
So
But they also had a much shorter lifespan than any of the other.
but he might be someone else. And there's this character named he's from Rebels. Oh, Commander Cody is his name.
Cody, yes.
And the
So
Lost
there's-
Planet Airman.
Commander Cody is another one of these clones who I guess he became a rebel and like became a good guy or something. Dan, do you know about this?
Partially. It could be, but how many
Yeah.
clones are still alive during this era?
I don't know, man, but I guess like when Avengers Endgame was about to come out, I put together a little Avengers special, and I got all of my predictions wrong. But I just wanted to say before Mandalorian 2 season 2 Electric Boogaloo comes out, I want to be like, it might not be Boba Fett. He might be playing an elderly Commander Cody, or he might be playing the Papa DeLorean, or someone else. Like he might not be
Uncle
playing
Boba Fett.
Yeah, Uncle Fett.
Boba Fett.
Yeah,
It could be. It could be.
because everyone's just assuming he's.
I'm gonna go with the Boba Fett thing, and the only reason why I say that is because they need to redeem him
Oh, why do you say that?
because of the whole bumbling thing.
Because he's a
Oh,
bumbling.
really?
Because
Am I
he's
into
not-
that, Dan?
Because he's not a bumbling bounty hunter. He's a very smart and cunning bounty hunter. However,
whoopsie
with
doozer.
very few episodes or a few times we got to see him, he's been not the greatest, and he's not had a chance to really prove how amazing he is. And so I think they're gonna have a chance to really showcase how amazing Boba Fett really is.
Well, now the reason this is a good coda
Redeeming.
is, Dan, do you care to make this interesting? So for a bottle of Greg's Breakup Whiskey,
Oh,
which is
Lordy, here we go.
the Bullet Bourbon, so I wager that Tamura Morrison is playing someone else, and you wager he's playing Boba Fett. Is this a fair wager?
Don't worry, Dad. It's an affordable bottle of bourbon.
It's very, very affordable. I'm a part-time teacher. So
It's on then. Yeah, let's do this.
okay.
Yep.
Done. There we go. Okay, cool. All right. Thanks,
to get?
Charlie. Yeah.
This is as long as we got that on recording. Is that
We got it. Now it's official. Now it's official. Yeah.
That's what you wanted to get on Conspeez 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Boogaloo.